Howdy! How's everybody out there in YouTube land today? I hope this finds you well. I hope that you're heading right on into 2022 and things are running smooth for you. Uh, smooth as the ice flow that we seem to be sitting on here in the Midwest. Oh my goodness, I tell you what, it's so cold that the witches have hid.
It's chilly.
The wind chill temperature here in east central Indiana is 3 degrees, or it was about a half hour ago when I checked it. See, I don't go by temperatures when it, gets like this. I go by the wind chill because that's what your skin feels.
I'm reading 33 degrees.
Oh, that's a heat wave. It's more like maybe 12 here.
It's one above freezing. It can't freeze if it's 33. It's got to be 32. It can't be 30. It can't freeze at 32. At 33. It must be 32 or below.
It can freeze at 33 depending upon what the wind's doing. Because the wind chill is going to determine how cold it's going to get. And it will freeze your dog bowls up. It'll freeze your cattle waters up. It'll freeze your motor up. It'll freeze everything.
The wind chill is how you perceive the temperature because it's blowing the heat off of your body. It's still 33 degrees, scientifically 33 degrees. Water can't freeze at 33. It freezes at 32.
Yeah, I tell that to my rear end when it's frozen to the bench.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I remember there was a big fight at the airport because someone wanted to ice down the plane and it was 34. And they were like, no, we're not icing down the plane. It's 34. But it's going to freeze. They're like, no, water freezes at 32. We can't waste the ice melt in an environment where there is no ice. Anyway.
We got a few people out there in the chat. Luann is out there, and Steve with Harnell Media is out there. And I wish y'all would share out the stream so that everybody knows that we're on here. Because we didn't have a show last week. There was interruptions.
Hi, Steve.
So there was no show last week, so people forgot about us. You miss 1 week and they just forget all about you.
Brenda, someone wants to come in the door. I'm going to have to answer my door. Hold on.
All right. Who's a knocking on my door? Who's a knocking on my door? Oh, it's Tinker. It's
Tinkerbell. Can you see her?
She got her magic wand with her? She going to grant me some wishes?
Hi, baby. She's sniffing different things. She doesn't need a little bell tinkling as she walks because her little paws go click, 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 click.
She needs a nail trimming. She won't do that.
Her nails are naturally long. I guess that inside thing that they can't clip. I forget what. There's a name for it. There's an inside
pulp.
Yeah, it's a vein or something. It's naturally very long. So she gets her nails clipped all the time, but they're just naturally long.
You can train them back, though. You get some Quick Stop and you trim them on back, and they're going to bleed a little bit. That's why you use Quick Stop the bleeding, and train them back.
That's not what we're going to do.
I've had dogs that I've had to do that, too.
That would hurt my baby.
You get tired of getting your paint scratched up and your floor scratched up, and
she doesn't scratch anything. Cuticle, that's it. Thank you, Luanna. Yuppers.
That's the one thing about Scarlett that I wish that I could break her up, but she's just like her mother. Her mother did the same damn thing, where she loved to scratch at the door.
Mm.
You can be standing over top of her. I mean, physically, you could be standing right over top of her, where you can bonk her on the head a good one, and she's still scratching at the door.
Well, believe me, Tinkerbell has a lot of those mannerisms too, where she'll scratch out her bowl so you put more food in there.
Mm-hmm.
Put more food in there, and then she walks away. You just told me to fill it back up. And then she walks away. She'll do the same with her water bowl. She'll scratch her water bowl. Not that it's empty. She just wants it fresh water.
Mm-hmm.
So then we'll put the fresh water in, put it down, and she'll walk away. I think she just likes to make us do work like that.
Yeah. You are her slave.
Yeah.
You will do her bidding.
Exactly.
I wish I had a nickel for every time a day that I tell her, you're not the boss of me. Because she sure thinks she is. We go through that all the time.
We have an interesting fact from Luana. A person forgets 90% of his or her dreams.
I try not to forget them.
I'll try not to, but
I tell you what, I had one the other night. This is something out of Star Trek. I wish I knew how to make this work. Now, if anybody listening to this, now or in the future, takes this idea and figures out how to make this a viable product, I want to cut. Okay?
Let's hear it.
All right. I had this dream that there was this little package. I mean, like you'd have like a piece of cardboard, and it would have like 6 of these little silicone rectangles on it. And then it would have a key, like a door key. It was called the magic key. You take the little silicone rectangle that had a little slit in it and put it on the edge of a door, the edge of a drawer, the edge of a cupboard door, whatever you want to lock. Just a door. Yeah. No hole, nothing. And you could stick the key in the silicone and it would disappear into the solid surface of whatever was behind it. You turn the key, it would lock that surface. Then you could pull out the key, take off the silicone, and that door would be locked.
Freaky.
Called the magic key. And
wow.
I thought, I'll tell you something. One of these days, they will make that work.
Yeah, maybe. When the Internet of Things comes out and everything's internet connected, and you can do that by punching in codes on your smartphones.
Mm-hmm. So, that I had that dream. I woke up. I mean, it was just as clear as if I was standing there with it doing it.
Crazy. RFID lock seems easier, says Jim Shears. Yeah.
But I thought, how cool is that?
Jim Dockrell's here. Hey, listen, she's yelling at me. I think I'm going to have to put her outside for a hot second. Do you mind if I step away?
Well, Lord, if you have a hot second down there, send it up here because I'm freezing to death.
All right, Brenda G's Designs audience. I will be back in 2 minutes, okay?
If it's a cold second, she's going to freeze to the pavement.
I'm sorry about this, but she's going to whine the whole time, and then I don't want her to go.
Do what you got to do. We'll make something up about you while you're gone.
Oh, I have no doubt. How do I turn off my...
You don't have to turn nothing off. We saw you had pants on.
Oh, there we go. All righty. Come here, baby. Brenda, whatever she says about me, it's all lies.
You'd like to think so. Oh, my goodness gracious. Well, let's see. We got Jim Bashirs out there in the audience. I'll say hello to him. And Jim Dockrell's out there. Say hello to him. Jim, I sent you a message earlier. Let me know. They're on Messenger. Midnight Scroller. And let's see. I think I got you all covered, I believe. If I missed anybody, say something else. Mercy sakes alive. I'll tell you what. I do not like winter. I was born in the wrong climate. I keep trying to get out of here by hitting the lottery. I hope that somebody out there that we know hit the lottery last night. If I can't hit it, I want somebody to hit it that I know. Not so much, that they'd send me any money or anything, but just I'd like for a friend to hit that. Her ball last night went to two different people, somebody from California and somebody from Wisconsin, and that was a big pot. So, congratulations to whoever hit that. That's a life changer right there. Midnight Scroller says it's minus 20 there today. It probably feel like a heat wave then here to you. The wind chill temperature is 3 degrees tonight so far. It'll be dropping down a little bit more. Jim Dockrell says it's minus 30 Celsius where he is, so it's about the same temperature there as it is here. Man, I don't like winter. I was born in the wrong climate and I can't seem to get out of here. Lana says we must be having a heat wave for you people. 29 feels like. Yeah, she's up on the East Coast. They're having a snowstorm up there, they're saying today. Yeah, Midnight Scroller, I bet it hurts. I went out to get the mail yesterday, which, just a few feet down the sidewalk to the mailbox. By the time I got back, I couldn't breathe. The air was just too thin. I had to sit in a chair for about 15 minutes to huff and puff and get everything working again because it done froze my lungs up. And I'm thinking I'm just too old for that. Oh, she said they had a snowstorm up there last weekend. I would be tickled to death if we don't get no snow here at all this winter. I mean, it's going to be cold whether you like it or not, but I could do without the snow and having to fight all that foolishness too. Okay, Jim Dockrell says that minus 30 Celsius is about minus 20 Fahrenheit. Yeah. So, yeah, that's, I thought it would be warmer than that. I thought there was about 30 degrees difference. Hey, Google, what is minus 30 degrees Celsius in Fahrenheit?
86 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh, that's not right.
QMath. Answer: 30 degrees Celsius is equal to 86 degrees Fahrenheit.
Hey, Google, what is minus 30 degrees Celsius in Fahrenheit? And now he won't answer me. Hey, Google. Hey, Google. What is minus 30 degrees Celsius in Fahrenheit?
30 degrees Celsius is 86 degrees Fahrenheit.
Apparently, it is so cold that it won't even register on Google. Because they're trying to tell me 30 degrees is 86 degrees Fahrenheit. But I said minus 30, and it's not computing. Jim Bashir says, Alexa says minus 22. Okay.
Oh, my goodness. Of course, Tinkerbell takes her good old time when I'm out there. Usually it's out there, peep, come right back. Not this time. Sniffing around, walking around. Like, I'm doing a show here, doggy.
Yeah, Scarlett's real good about going out and doing what she needs to do unless it's a sunny day. If it's a sunny day, then she has to patrol the perimeter. Make sure that, there's no squirrels, cats, raccoons, or any other varmints out there.
Got it. She knows what's up.
She wants to make sure that we are 100% safe and sound.
Only on the warm days.
And she has the PTSD as bad as I do on windy, stormy days. She huffs and puffs, and you think she was about to keel over and paces the floor. And I'm like, just come here and cuddle up with me, and we'll just try to keep each other safe and keep the roof from falling in.
See, that's a sound plan. Luana says, one human brain generates more electrical impulses for one day than all phones in the world combined? What? That's a lot of electricity. Frankie's here from Frankie's CNC and Woodworking channel. He puts the word channel in his channel name. I can dig it.
Wants to make sure you understand what it is.
Yeah.
Welcome, Frankie. Good to see you.
Jim says depends on the brain. Yeah, baby.
A lot of truth in that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd looked up some facts earlier about winter.
Uh-oh. When's it going to be over? Is that a fact?
Oh, I wish I knew, Lord. Tell you what. Did you know that snow falls at 1 to 6 feet per second?
Oh, I guess I didn't know that.
At least in the case of snowflakes with broad structures, which act as parachutes. Snow that falls in the form of pellet-like granules travels to Earth at a much faster rate.
That makes sense. It is starting to snow here. I noticed it's laying on the table and then the lounge chairs that are out there, but it's not laying on the ground yet. Because it's got to chill up a little more before that happens. Still showing 33.
Boy,
At least daylight is getting longer, says Jim Bashirs. Yes, I agree.
Yeah, the weather forecaster down in southern Indiana has been putting up all kinds of things up on Facebook about the snowstorm moving through Cincinnati and southern Indiana. And, you know, it's kind of a freak thing. They haven't really been calling for it until today. But it's not supposed to come this far north. Thank goodness. It's supposed to stop about an hour south of me. And they can keep it down there. I'm not interested in having it up here.
Yeah, you're like over here, right?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, I'm an hour north of Richmond, Indiana, if that tells you anything.
Richmond, Indiana. They have a Richmond, Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
Popular name.
Halfway between Fort Wayne and Richmond. In Amish territory.
Gotcha.
Kentucky got nailed. Huge accidents, it says. Kentucky's just getting pounded. Between the tornadoes and the snowstorms and ice storms and water storms and flooding, and they're going to wash Kentucky off the map.
Oh my. Don't hurt the distilleries. They have good distilleries in Kentucky and Tennessee. Both. I got a new camera. Want to see my new camera?
Yep. What's this one for?
This is a second camera from my channel. There we go. Oh, maybe you don't see it yet. Do you see it? Yeah, there you go.
Now, is this the one where we get to see you scratch your butt?
Maybe. No, butt's a little off camera.
I mean, we want to see you from all angles. We want to catch everything.
Yeah, so
the butt cam.
That's my new camera. That is the GoPro Hero 10 Black. Side view must be the booby cam, says Jim Bashirs. I ain't got nothing on me.
Well, I started out 2022 with a bang.
Do tell.
I got through New Year's Day sick as a dog because of the weather and the rain pounding and my head pounding and my stomach turned inside out. Sunday morning, I get up and I check my messages, and the bank that I got my credit card through had sent me a notice saying that they thought my credit card had been compromised and wanted me to get in touch with them. So I got in touch with them, and sure enough, somebody had put a bogus charge on my credit card, so they had to cancel out my credit card and cancel out that payment, and I had to wait for a new credit card to come in the mail. I thought, boy, ain't that just the nicest way to start out the new year, you know?
At least they caught it. You're not liable for it.
Yeah,
why Mitchell showed up, and so did Crystal McGuire. Hello, hello.
Hey, good to see both of you. Hope everything is going swimmingly for you here in the new year.
Yeah, hopefully the credit card companies are on it, and they find that stuff and they call you about it. They don't always.
Yeah, mine has been real good about catching stuff and letting me know when something goes wrong, but it's still a huge inconvenience because everything that you got set up on automatic payments, then when you get your card, you got to spend a whole day on the internet getting all that stuff set back up again. I'm like, man, I tell you what, if I could get a hold of the fool that does this kind of foolishness, I'd bait the hell out of him. I need a new hobby.
I know. Tell me about it. I got a funny story, sort of the opposite problem. I bought a piece of software to help web development. It's called PHP Runner, and you buy it from phprunner.ru in Russia.
Oh man.
No, it's legit software. It it's very popular.
Yeah, but try to get that bought.
I bought it, and then I got a call from the credit card company, which was my bank. I was actually the bank Visa, and it's like, sir, we noticed a piece of Russian software was first. I was like, yeah, that's legitimate. Because it was $2.99. I'm like, I know. I paid for that software. I did it. They're like, okay, just want to make sure.
Yeah, there's been a time too when the bank has gotten in touch with me about a payment that I made, wanting to make sure that I had done that. And I said, yeah, I did it. And it usually has to do with some kind of software or something that I bought for the computer. But no, this time I didn't recognize it. $740 worth.
Did they tell you what they bought?
No, they didn't tell me what it was. Foxpro.com was the website that it was supposed to have gone through. I've never heard of them.
I had a charge. I had something go crazy with my credit card, and here they bought phone minutes for prison inmates with it. And I was like, and they were kind of giving me a hard time, and they weren't going to reverse it. I'm like, what kind of friends do you think I keep? Like, I did not buy prison phone minutes for inmates. Yeah, so, and they finally did the right thing. And the one time I paid off, like I got like a loan to pay off a credit card, and it was like $8,000, and I paid it off, and it wasn't, and they cashed the check, and it wasn't showing up on my account. I still owed the money. And I called them, and I'm like, here's the cash check, because you see the front image and the back image. They're like, oh, we credited that to the wrong account. I'm like, well, you better go take the money out of that account and then smack it on mine. And they finally did. But that was a nerve-wracking situation. I'm like, It should be zero. I paid it to zero, and I had to borrow the money to do it. And I moved. It was like.
Have you ever watched any of the videos? I'm going to see if I can find this guy's name on here real quick, where he scams the scammers.
Oh, I do watch a couple videos like that.
I'm looking down through here to see if I can find him real quick. There's 3 or 4 of them that's pretty good, but the one guy just tickles me to death because he'll pretend to be an old grandma or Yeah. Scam Payback. Scammer Payback. That's the name of it. Scammer Payback.
Yeah, because they're like, go down to CVS and buy an Apple gift card.
Oh.
What? I have to take the bus. The bus comes at 2:00.
Huh. And while they're pulling all their foolishness, he's hacked into their computers and deleting all their files.
I saw the one time where he turned on the scammer's webcam and he had the video feed of the scammer's webcam on his desktop, and he invited the scammer into his desktop to see his desktop, and the scammer sees himself when he logs into the that's clever.
And the time that he dressed up like the girl, because the scammer's coming on to him.
Oh God.
And he's pretending to be a young lady that's, I don't know, 26 or something. And so the scammer keeps wanting to talk to him on camera. And so he's on Twitch. All right. So he's talking to his audience on Twitch while he's getting ready for his date, if that's what you want to call it, with the scammer. And they're telling him how to put his makeup on, and he's got this blonde wig on, and he put on like a flowery blouse, and he gets on camera there, and then the scammer saying, well, you don't look like the picture you showed me. It's, oh, I colored my hair. Do you like the color? And the scammer is not wanting anything to do with him.
Jeez.
Oh, the guy is a hoot.
Yeah, they can make those really entertaining.
So if you want, laugh about somebody getting their comeuppance, because he's gone in and taken their money. One of it was like $700,000 that he got.
My God. I love when they just waste their time, because they're telling them to punch in a code in the exe.bat file or whatever. And you're like, the code could be A742, A744, no, A742, A748, no, A7. It just goes on and on and on. It's psychological torture.
Honey, can I get my grandson to come in here and talk to you about this? Because I don't think I'm going to be able to do this.
Yeah, there's a woman who does it. She's a professional voice actor, and a lot of times she'll pretend she's one of those phone trees, those outgoing messages, like press 4 to speak to and then boop. And then she'll go on to the next thing. It's just her talking, but they think it's crazy. You can certainly have fun with a lot of that stuff, but you gotta think fast, and there's a talent to doing that properly.
Yeah,
there really is.
Well, it's not his first day on the job either. I mean, he knows his software, and he knows exactly what he's got to do to get them to comply with what he needs them to do, while he's pretending to do what they want him to do and doing just enough of it that he's getting around them, and doing it all in a made-up voice,
Did you see Mark Rober's video where he did the glitter bombs, and he kind of figured out how the scams work? It's actually pretty scary how they do that, because the gist of it is you call up your bank statement on your bank account, and you let them screen share and monitor your computer.
Mm-hmm.
And then they put up a hold on while I'm working. Like they say, I have to do something, and they have a hold screen. And underneath the hold screen, they're going into the HTML of your bank account, and they're putting a line item in there that says a credit of $30,000 was in there, or something, or a credit of $10,000. And then they release the waiting screen, and you see on your bank statement on the web page a fake line item of a deposit.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go, oh my gosh. And then what they tell her to do is, tell you what,
It
instead
was
of,
supposed to be $300, and they
Yeah.
got it for, $300,000 or some
well, they're saying,
unbelievable amount.
see this $10,000 deposit? Tell you what, just withdraw 8,000 and send it back to us. And for the inconvenience, you can keep the 2. And they'll go to their bank, and they'll drive to the bank, and they'll withdraw the money. And they're like, put it in a book and then mail the book to us. And if they were just refresh the page, that fake line item that they inserted into the HTML would go away. I'm like, oh, that's so evil.
Yeah.
Because if you send a lot of physical cash, they'll get flagged.
Mhm.
Like they kind of sniff that stuff out, I think, at the postal service and UPS and stuff like that. So what they tell you to do is get a book and put it in the pages of the book, whatever they tell you to do. And I'm like, that's pretty evil.
Yep. I mean, you're calling these people because you trust them. A lot of times they're telling you that they want to give you a refund on your McAfee or whatever. And so you call them up and say, I didn't order this. I need a refund on this, because, you didn't check your account or anything else. You're just trusting what the email says.
Yeah.
And so, oh, yes, we'd be happy to give you that refund. And then they spoof you like that. And then they tell you that they need the money back, and they're going to lose their job. And, oh, you have to help me. I can't afford to lose my job. My family will go without food. And give you this big sob story and clean out your bank account.
Yeah, some of the things they tell you and some of the things they put in email can seem really convincing.
Mm-hmm.
But to have your own bank account statement show you a false line item, that is technically sophisticated, and quite scary.
Yeah.
It's a tough world we live in, man. Tough world. I mean, I'm hardened with it now. I'm not under any false pretense that I'm completely bulletproof by any stretch, but anything I see in the email, I will open a new browser tab and type in the name of the website. I won't click any links in the email, and then I'll log into the accounts that way. And I tried to do my due diligence, but man, they're getting sophisticated.
Midnight Scroller says, this is something I would do. My dad called me once and saying, who lives in a pineapple under the sea? And the next thing my dad hears is a man say, SpongeBob SquarePants. Sir, you have the wrong number. Because people I know are, well, I'll do things like that to them. They never know what's going to happen when they answer the phone. It's me calling them. Yeah. But now, here's one. So on Sunday morning, this was before I get the thing from the credit card company. All right. This should have been my cue to pull the covers up over my head, seal them in around the mattress, and say, I ain't coming out to 2023. But I couldn't get to sleep. At 3:30 in the morning, I finally got tired enough that I thought, okay, now I think I can close my eyes. I can actually get some rest. And I crawl in bed. I get all comfy warm underneath the covers, and I go to sleep about 3:30 in the morning. Next thing I know, my phone is ringing, and I'm out cold. But I wake up to the ringing of the phone, and intuitively, I reach over and grab it and answered it. If I'd been awake, I wouldn't have done that. I would have checked to see, whose number is this? What the hell is this all about? I got my eyes open enough to tell it's still dark outside. And I didn't realize it was Sunday, at that given moment. I'm just, knocked out. And I answered the phone, said hello. And I hear this kind of garbled voice on the other end of the phone. And so I said hello again. And this voice said, is Cameron there? Now, Cameron is the guy that had the phone number before me. I've had this phone for 3 years. So you would think that anybody in 3 years that knows Cameron would get his new number by now, you know. And I said, "You want Cameron?" And he said, "Yeah." I said, "Look, buddy, I've had this phone for 3 years now, the same phone number. He apparently had this number before me, so you need to look him up somewhere else and get his new number." And he says, "Oh, I'm terribly sorry. I called and disturbed you." And about that time, I see what time it is. And I said, "Well, I would think so. It is 4:34 in the morning on a Sunday morning, and you are calling me out of bed with a wrong number. Seriously." And he says, "Oh, I'm just terribly sorry."
We used to have a number that was the same number as the township treasurer's number. And people would call her with tax questions. I'm like, she doesn't, it's not at this number. Oh.
Well,
I finally started saying, "I'm going to put you in default."
I just couldn't believe, somebody calling at 4:30 in the morning, a wrong number after. Did he need bailed out of jail? It's calling somebody he ain't talked to in 3 years.
Yeah.
What in the hell on a Sunday morning? Oh, for the love of Pete! I've still got his number in my phone, and I'm thinking that I want to give it a month or so, and then I'm going to call him about 3:00 in the morning. And hope to hell I wake him up. And then I'll block his number out of my phone.
My.
For crying out loud. Every year, more than 2,000 lefties are killed because of errors in the operation of mechanisms designed for right-handed people.
That is a staggering statistic. Well, what items are built for presuming the person is right-handed? Can openers?
I couldn't name any of them off, but I know that there are a lot of them. I've got a few friends that are left-handed. One of the things that I find staggering is the amount of people in the craft community or in the creative arts community that are left-handed.
Well, they say you're using the creative side of your brain when you control the left part of your body. You're right-brained. Right-brained is the creative side of the brain. So, Dave Hart, acousticized, is here. Hi, Dave.
Hey, Dave. Good to see you. Hope everything's running smooth where you are and that the weather ain't too hateful.
Oh, that is a disturbing statistic that Luana just put down there. Yeah, lack of sleep versus lack of food. You can go a long time without food. And let me tell you, dying from lack of food is a horrible, agonizing, seemingly never-ending experience. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, going without food. It is a multiple week slip into madness and pain. Yeah, that's...
Well, you bringing that up, I'll give you a Dennis update. Poor Dennis. I swear to God, he was supposed to get released from the hospital and sent to a nursing home a couple weeks ago. And the next thing I know, I haven't heard nothing from him. He's supposed to tell me when he got moved, and I didn't hear nothing. So I got in touch with him, by text, because with the tracheotomy, he can't speak. So he says he's still in the hospital. And I said, "Well, what's going on?" And he says, there's something wrong with his innards, his stomach and intestines and all that it's backed up, and they had to put a tube down his throat into his stomach to suction out the fluids in his stomach. And that he couldn't eat, and he hadn't eaten in like 2 weeks, is all he was getting was whatever they're tube feeding him. And they still haven't figured out what's going on with that. As of last night, I spoke with him again. So besides the tracheotomy, now he's got this stomach issue that they can't get figured out. And he said, well, I guess it's improving some because at least now they're letting me have some ice chips by mouth.
That's someone in bad shape, Brenda.
Yeah. This isn't sounding good. And they stopped all talk of trying to send him to a nursing home for anything because, now they're trying to pump his stomach out and get his innards figured out on what's going on there. So, yeah, I'm thinking he hasn't had anything to eat now since, I think it was December the 22nd that he went in the hospital and they did that emergency trach on him. So, he's had intravenous or whatever they want to call it kind of food, but can you imagine not being able to actually eat food?
No.
Now, I haven't been hungry all day, so I haven't eaten anything yet. I'll probably eat something yet this evening, but I can't imagine not being able to eat. And for it being an extended period of time.
That'd be tough. I mean, stomach issues are no joke.
Yeah, this has been over 2 weeks now.
And in fact, the stomach is the cause of a lot of other health issues. If things are wrong in that area, a lot can spin out of control. It's snowing here where I am, Dave. Dave's also in Pennsylvania, and I'm in the Harrisburg area, and it wasn't laying 25 minutes ago, except on my table, not on the cement.
Yeah, and Luana said that they probably have him on TPN, some kind of total perinatal nutrition, whatever that is. But that's beside the point. Okay, he's getting some nutrition, but I'm talking about being able to eat.
Yeah,
when you get hungry and you're thinking, man, I've got some leftover turkey out there in the refrigerator. I could make me a turkey and cheese sandwich, or I could make me a Manhattan or some leftover mashed potatoes out there, and I got bread and I got some turkey and some gravy. I could make a Manhattan out of that, or I've got some green beans out there, or I could make myself a salad, or I could there's some cottage cheese out there. I could mix some fruit with that. And you're thinking about eating, having some food to eat. This has been over 2 weeks that he has not been able to eat anything. I think I'd lose my mind.
So it's all just all through the needle.
Yeah.
The intravenous. Yeah, that's harsh.
I mean, he thinks he's in hog heaven because they're letting him have some ice chips. Wow.
Some people have it tough.
Yep.
Life's not fair at all. No one said it was.
Boy, and he's had something wrong with him all his life. It's been one thing after the other. I never seen a beating all my life. I get so I kind of threaten him with things now to try to make him, pull himself out of whatever slump he's in. Because we both got this kind of crazy friend that you could take her in small doses. And I told him the other day, he sounded like he's in the dumps. And I said, I could take you to her house and you'd be close to a clinic where they could probably make you feel better and she could nurse you back to health. He didn't speak to me for like 3 days. Oh. But I talked to him last night. He was having ice chips. Well, that must have worked. And I threatened him with plungers and garden hoses and lemon reamers. I said, I bet I could cure you. We don't need no doctor. Just let me come in there and work on you a while.
Well, Brenda, I think I got about 15 more minutes in me before I fall out of this chair.
Well, you ain't worth quack, are you?
No, I'm just... Whoops. Sorry, I'm hitting buttons.
Well, hang on here a minute after the show because I got a job for you.
Okay.
Whether you want it or not.
Oh, boy. You hear that? She's putting me to work, everybody.
So we'll say good evening, everybody, because Matt, well, since he got his new Hooters, he just doesn't have the fortitude anymore.
Is that joke ever going to die?
Nope. Every time I can use it, it's going to be like a dog a hold of your leg.
Ay.
Thanks, everybody, for coming to the show tonight. We'll do another next week, or me and somebody will do one. I don't know. He's going to fall out, I think. So the heifer went up today. That's when the fight started went up today. So they're both up there for your viewing enjoyment. You can watch them. And my poor old octopus fell off the shelf.
Uh-oh.
There he is.
Poor Pinky.
So with that being said, we'll bid you all adieu, and we will see y'all on the interwebs.
Good
Night,
everyone.
everybody.
Stay awesome.